Hey, what's up? In this video, I'm going to be introducing the Mises Institute to you, and on the screen is going to be a speed drawing of Ludwig von Mises, who is the person the Mises Institute is named after and is the inspiration for it. It's part of my Anyone But K series, which is a series for just suggesting just anyone on a shirt is better than Che Guevara, and Ludwig von Mises is definitely one of the great examples of somebody who would be a lot better to have on a shirt than him. But anyway, getting into the I'm going to be reading several pages from the Mises Institute about the Mises Institute from the Wiki Mises, which is at wikimises.org. It's about the Mises Institute, and as I'll get into, it's a site that I use a lot for economic knowledge and things like that, knowledge about economics and other things in the world. It's a great resource, and I'm recording this so other people can also get to know more about the Mises Institute. And if I talk about the Mises Institute in my blog or in my videos or in another source, I can either refer them back to this video of mine or the actual site to their own. I know some people prefer to hear things instead of reading things in that way. So this is just a short introduction, and I'll tell you which pages. And there's going to be links wherever I'm going to try to provide links wherever I post this. I also have a blog at rantathon.wordpress.com, which you can find links to this there, and I'll have some other sources. If I ever find more sources, I might update this presentation, this video, whatever. Let's get right into it now. I'm going to open up with a page about the Mises Institute that's on the Mises Wiki. There's also a Mises Wiki About page that I'll get to after this, but want to introduce you all to what the Mises Institute is. Mises Institute. The Ludwig von Mises Institute is a research center founded in 1982 that is dedicated to supporting the intellectual tradition, particularly in economic and political theory, represented by Ludwig von Mises, who was born in 1881 and died in 1973. Next, we move on to mission. It says see also Mises Global, so let's just jump over to the Mises Global page and see what it says, and we'll come back. So Mises Global. Mises Global is the phrase used to designate the rise and proliferation of Mises Institutes in many countries and regions. And it says see also the original Mises Institute, which takes us back to the original page. But here it has some links, but articles with Mises Global, Swedish Mises Institute, Mises Global, resources like foreign language materials, the sites misesglobal.org, talks about North and South America, which has Instituto Ludwig von Mises in Brazil. Brazil has a big libertarian type of anarcho-capitalist type of community there. Mises Canada and Chile. It has different ones in Europe. You see Minx Mises Center, Rothbard Institute in Belgium, the Mises Instituto in Estonia. I think it's Institut in Estonia. So I don't know how you say some of these names and things like that in different languages. In Asia, there's Mises Israel, Tokyo Liberty Club. Other, I see there's a Ludwig von Mises Institute in South Africa. There's one Hispano and Spanish language Mises Institute. But yeah, so there is a spread of this, and I hope recording this can help spread this, I think, very important information and knowledge to other people in the world. Okay, so back to the Mises Institute page, and we were at mission. The Institute, founded with the blessings of Mises' widow, Margit, who was born in 1890 and died in 1993, who served as chairman, sponsors teaching programs and professional meetings, publishes journals and books, makes available audio and video, offers student assistance, and otherwise provides a wide range of services to uphold the Misesian tradition. The Institute does not consider itself a traditional think tank, as it does not seek to implement public policy. It has no formal affiliation with any political party, including the Libertarian Party, nor does it receive funding from any. The Institute also has a formal policy of not accepting contract work from corporations or other organizations, or accepting government funding. Its declared mission is to back research and writing in defense of Austrian economics, the market economy, private property, sound money, and peaceful international relations, While opposing government intervention as economically and socially destructive, it is based in Auburn, Alabama. There are also several other institutes and websites with the same name throughout the world, including those in Belgium, Canada, Switzerland, Germany, Japan, Sweden, Poland, Czech Republic, Russia, Brazil, Ecuador, Romania, Portugal, and Finland, and the Spanish language version. However, the institute has no formal ties with any of them. History. The founding of the Ludwig von Mises Institute in 1982, with the aid of Margit von Mises as well as Hayek and Hazlitt, provided a range of new opportunities for both Rothbard and the Austrian school. Through a steady stream of academic conferences, instructional seminars, books, monographs, newsletters, studies, and even films, Rothbard and the Mises Institute carried the Austrian school forward into the post-socialist age. The first issue of the Rothbard-edited Review of Austrian Economics appeared in 1987 and became a quarterly in 1998, the Quarterly Journal of Austrian Economics. The Mises Institute's instructional summer school has been held every year since 1984. For many of these years, Rothbard presented his research into the history of economic thought. This culminated in his two-volume An Austrian Perspective on the History of Economic Thought, which broadens the history of the discipline to encompass centuries of writing. Through the Mises Institute Student Fellowship, study guides, bibliographies, and conferences, the Austrian school has permeated at some level virtually every department of economics and the social sciences in America, and in many foreign countries as well. The annual Austrian Scholars Conference at Auburn University attracts scholars from around the world to discuss, debate, and apply the entire Austrian tradition. And that's it for this page. The rest is references and links, and also the see alsos. So we'll get to the rest. This is the entry on the Mises Academy. The Mises Academy, founded April 2010, is an online teaching service of the Ludwig von Mises Institute, itself founded in 1982, that's designed for students of all ages. Drawing on the Mises Institute's faculty and long experience in curriculum design and classroom administration, the Academy's mission is to advance the scholarship and teaching of liberty using digital media. Classes have an economic focus, but cover history, philosophy, law, politics, literature, and more. Classes include forums, readings, video and audio, study questions, quizzes, forums, chats, live interaction with the professor, office hours, grading, transcripts, and more. Tests and grading are optional. Students enjoy access to blogs and class-specific forums, providing opportunities to get to know fellow students. Papers can be uploaded, corrected, and commented upon. Students have permanent access to their records. The software is built on a Moodle platform with a WordPress overlay and a live classroom environment provided by WebEx. So that's about the Mises Academy. Next, I'm going to read the page on Mises University. The Mises University is a Mises Institute's instructional program in the Austrian School of Economics. Since 1984, it has been the essential training ground for economists who are looking beyond the mainstream. Rooted in the tradition of Karl Menger and Ludwig von Mises, the Mises University offers a rigorous and logical approach to the economics that give free markets their due and takes full account of the reality of human choice. The program offers courses, seminars, and reading groups on the whole range of the discipline. A core curriculum presents economic foundations, and more than 50 elective classes explore the entire range of economics in all levels of advancement. The program ends with a Mundliche Prüfung. You have this Mundliche Prüfung. It's M-U with the two dots over it, so I don't know what accent that is, and I don't know if that CH is Ke or Che, but Mundliche Prüfung, which is an optional exam for an honor certificate. Subject areas cover market behavior, competition, value and utility, money and banking, business cycles, industrial organization, method, economic history, the philosophy of science, financial economics, and more. You attend what most suits your interests and level of advancement. Classes are interspersed with reading groups, discussion seminars, faculty panels, and plenary lectures. There are special sessions on economics history, economics and ethics, and political philosophy. Nightly social hours allow time to meet and discuss with all the faculty and other students. There is even a primer on surviving graduate school. That's it for the page. After they leave a link here to the Mises University of 2012 that took place on July 22nd to 28th in Auburn, Alabama. As mentioned, there will be links to the Mises Wiki, to the things that I'm reading, and there is a YouTube page that I highly suggest you guys check out. I'm subscribed to that. I listen to a lot of things. There's people related to the Mises Institute that have their own podcasts. As mentioned here, it has spread around the world and spread to other sources and other places with a lot of good quality information. There's also some podcasts. They've put on different podcasts about different topics on any of these podcast platforms that you may have, the popular ones. Okay, next page. Now I'll talk about the Mises Wiki on the Mises Wiki About page. As I said, this is a source that I often use, and some of you may be familiar with the format of wikis, so you might already understand this, that wiki coming from the, of course, very famous Wikipedia. And now there's wikis for all sorts of things. So this is the Mises Wiki About page. Mises Wiki is a web-based free content project dedicated to the advancement of the Austrian School of Economics and related thought. Its content is written collaboratively by volunteers, and anyone can add to and edit Mises Wiki articles. Mises Wiki was established on November 5th, 2010. As of today, there are 1,990 articles, 5,335 users, 2 active users in the last 30 days, 18 admins, and certain number of views that are not listed here. It shows template number of views, so that's something with the coding that's going on in it. Okay. We encourage all users to contribute, remembering that the best contributions are verifiable against a published source and are written from an Austrian point of view. Encyclopedia-type contributions should not contain editor opinions as such, nor original, unreviewed research. We also ask that contributors comply, insofar as is possible, with existing laws and regulations concerning copyright. However, no edit can permanently damage Mises Wiki, because mistakes can easily be reversed. Just click the edit link at the top of any editable page to begin. Content submitted to the Mises Wiki becomes licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution license. Mises Wiki also contains some materials imported from Wikipedia, which are licensed as Creative Commons by Attribution and share alike. For additional help, see the help contents. With that introduction done, we're going to get into the body of the page with making the best use of Mises Wiki. The first section is Exploring Mises Wiki. Mises Wiki is currently in development. Every day, new articles are created and changes are made. Then now it explains how you can use the Mises Wiki to find articles. You use a search box on the left side of the screen, or you click random page to find something new, which is something that people are probably used to who have used wikis before. Next section, using Mises Wiki as a research tool. Readers of Mises Wiki need to know that not all of its articles are of encyclopedic quality, and that many subjects are poorly represented. However, because changes and additions are easy to make, we are confident that our encyclopedia will grow into a valuable research tool for all students of the Austrian School of Economics and libertarianism in general. The ideal Mises Wiki article clearly and concisely presents the Austro-libertarian perspective, contrasting it with opposing views, and being careful to provide verifiable information. Editorials should be placed in the essay namespace, and source materials, such as interviews, should be placed in the miscellany namespace. There is also a namespace for argumentation and one for books. The next section is student assignments. And there's a section here that says, see also Mises Wiki, how can teachers and students use it, that I'll get to after this, as I think that's very important to have this information get out to more people, especially as they learn economics and want to teach economics. I personally can think if I knew this information, if I was taught this information in my younger years, I think it would have improved my life a lot, both personally and just general outlook of how the world works, to understand why certain things work and why certain things don't, and be able to discuss with people around me in a better way. Okay, So, student assignments. On 14th March 2011, Jeffrey Tucker and Dick Clark had the following exchange about the benefits of student assignments to edit wikis. Tucker: I look at the Mises Wiki right now, and I'm thinking, okay, this is something that's going to outlive me. I don't know if I should do like a Jeffrey Tucker voice. I think it's a bit higher than I'm doing right now, but let's just go with it. Let's start again from the start. Tucker: I look at the Mises Wiki right now, and I'm thinking, okay, this is something that's going to outlive me. It's going to grow and grow. Another use for it that occurred to me was that professors can assign students to write entries, right? If you're a student, you could turn in a little paper and whatever, and then it disappears. What are you going to do? I get student submissions all the time. People write, I wrote this paper for my class, what can you do with it? I look at it and go, well, the problem is it's a paper for a class. That's what it's for. But if you're writing an encyclopedia entry, it requires just as much research, just as much thought, and probably even more discipline. And you're learning wiki code. And you're contributing something broader than just to yourself and your little physical classroom. Clark: And well, from the student's perspective, instead of, this little one-off project that's going to go down the memory hole as soon as I get a grade on it, now I'm working on something that's gonna matter. People are gonna read. Now, I'm sorry, this is not in there, but I'm thinking the way, the accent that I'm using, I don't know how someone would say gonna in that accent, making me think of a different accent. But let's get back to the start again. Clark: And well, from the student's perspective, instead of, this little one-off project that's going to go down the memory hole as soon as I get a grade on it, now I'm working on something that's gonna matter. People are gonna read. Potentially, hundreds of thousands of people are going to come across my article. And that gives me, as a student, right, that would give me much greater incentive to write a quality article, to do my best work, not just do good enough. And it's funny you should bring this up because, Tucker, you've got graders too. You've got potentially thousands of graders out there. Clark: exactly right. You'll find out quick if it's not good quality. So that's it. Some little voice acting in there. I should do like some animation. Yeah, maybe that's what I can do. I can maybe contribute to the Mises Wiki and the Mises Institute by doing small little animations. But there's something on the screen going on right now. Anyway, we'll get back to that later. Okay, now we're going to jump into the how teachers and students can use this as it's related to the section that we're in here. There might be some small change on background noise here. It started raining as I was recording this. I'm recording this from Nairobi, Kenya right now, and we're in the short rain season. Even though it's been raining for about 8 days straight, it's rained at least some of the days. Some of those days it's been full rain. And yeah, people don't necessarily think of that in Africa, most of sub-Saharan Africa, but yeah, it happens. It rains. Okay. The whole I miss the rains down in Africa. Toto and them. No, not missing the rains down in Africa. Anyway, enough of that digression. Back to the reading. The Mises Wiki can be used for more than research. Both professors and students can profit from it. And this is just about that. It has a first section here called Reasoning, which just lists again that back and forth between Jeffrey Tucker and Dick Clark that I talked about before, that I voice acted, that you might have been cringing through the whole thing. But anyway, so here we go. Uses. On the lowest level, teachers can simply encourage students to use their work for the wiki. That way their work won't be lost and can find a broad audience. Teachers wanting to go this route may wish to give their students this handout along with their syllabus on the first day of class. So they have some material here that you can use. Teachers can require their students to create or update a wiki page as part of their assignments. Next point, a group of students could cooperatively create a page or a series of pages focused on a specific topic, documenting their current subject. Next point, instead of looking for new topics all the time, a teacher can simply choose a topic that is lacking in some respect and let the students improve it. Next section, advantages. First point, students can connect their work to a large wiki with an Austrian/libertarian focus. Many basic terms like profit, investment, or inflation are already researched and can be easily linked to. With these ones, a small aside, I'm going to do separate videos about just those topics, make them short, make them shareable, increase this information, make it spreadable. Next point. Students learn to cooperate with others and reference their work to original sources, while the existing materials can point them to more. Next point. Editors of the Mises Wiki can help students to polish their work. Next point. All changes are automatically tracked and can be undone. Mistakes can be easily corrected, and work can be associated with its author. Next section is how to do it. Let your students create a user account and report to you their username before they start editing. Next point. Check the existing pages related to the topic and note which ones are missing or could use an improvement. Feel free to consult the talk page and existing users of the Mises Wiki. Next point. Assign the research topics by any means you prefer. You can let the students choose, assign it randomly, or directly. Next point. The students should execute their work. As a teacher, you can feel free to monitor their work via recent changes, or there's other ways you can follow it by actually following the respecting pages directly. Now we're at the last section of this page, and I'm going to get back to the About Mises Wiki page. Who did what, or how can you track changes? So this is a wiki, this is an online-based thing. There's going to be availability for you to see the entire history of the page that shows you the changes and things like that. This platform, this interface, this control panel normally shows you details of the dates and the times and things like that. And that's also how you can go. You can easily compare the changes. When I'm writing my blog, I use a WordPress blog as well. And when you go into the back end, it shows you different drafts. If you're actually just drafting something up, it keeps track of the time, keeps track of the editors. So it's a very handy resource. If you're a teacher and you're thinking of using this, I think it's going to be rather straightforward for you to learn that interface and have it be trustworthy in what you're trying to teach. Now back to the About Mises Wiki page. About Mises Wiki is the next section. Mises Wiki is still in its developmental stages, and as such, it does not have firm rules. Its parent, the Mises Institute, remains its guiding force. Its editorial vice president has said, "We don't want an encyclopedia only, and we don't want just opinion pieces. We want Mises Wiki to be a guide to learning and studying, an archive of important and useful information, a documented assembly of important facts and figures and narratives, a valuable resource for discovering what is going on and what people think. Most importantly, we don't want the scope limited." There is also hope that this wiki can eventually come to replace major sections of Mises.org itself. This is from an in-studio, the Mises Wiki interview with Dick Clark from December 2010. And this isn't the same Dick Clark from before. This isn't the Dick Clark, the famous American TV and other things host, but still, it's good that people are out there. Maybe with talking about this Mises Wiki, we can get someone like Dick Clark, that television host, to get it out there as much as it can and spread the message. That, I think, would make for a better world. But yeah, that's it for that. Now we'll get into the next section, which is Mises Wiki versus Wikipedia. Unlike Wikipedia, Mises Wiki is focused on a particular subject area and does not attempt to adhere to a policy of neutrality. This gives Mises Wiki editors the freedom to develop articles related to Austrian libertarianism with others who share similar worldviews. However, this does not mean that Mises Wiki is limited to topics typically considered to be part of the Austrian School of Economics or libertarianism in general. Instead, the content of any topic can be developed so long as it furthers the goals of Mises Wiki. While Mises Wiki is more focused on Wikipedia and does not require neutrality, the ideas of the Austrian School and libertarianism are not uniform. In fact, among the members of both these groups, there is a strong disagreement on many topics. Therefore, articles should use verifiable, reliable resources to compare and contrast the various views within the classical liberal tradition. Furthermore, many readers may come from other political and economic backgrounds. To encourage them to learn more and ultimately accept Austrian libertarianism, Mises Wiki articles should be accessible to non-Austrians and should attempt to provide a bridge from their worldview. whether neoconservative, Keynesian, green, or anything else, to Austro-libertarian views. And now this is administration and the Mises Wiki, which has 18 administrator accounts and talks about how all but one is also a bureaucrat account, which means that it has the power to assign user rights. And it lists them here. If you want to see them, I'm not going to read them here. And now we're going to go to the next page, which is the Mises Wiki, 5 pillars. The fundamental principles by which the Mises Wiki operates are summarized in the form of 5 pillars. The first pillar. Mises Wiki is an online encyclopedia focusing on the thought of Ludwig von Mises and related subjects, and encompassing the entire classical liberal tradition. It includes information similar to what is available on Wikipedia, but with greater focus. However, like Wikipedia, Mises Wiki is not a soapbox, an advertising platform, or a vanity press. Next point. Mises Wiki has an Austrian point of view. Unlike Wikipedia and other encyclopedias, which may claim to pursue a policy of neutrality towards article content, Mises Wiki makes no such claim. Articles on Mises Wiki are written from an Austrian point of view, meaning that they often presume and advocate the ideas of the Austrian school of economics and libertarianism in general. However, because debate exists even in these traditions, and because we want to serve as a starting point for additional research, we will strive for verifiability, encouraging users to provide references as much as possible. Personal experiences, interpretations, and opinions of editors are allowed to be posted in the appropriate namespaces, for example, user space, essay space, and in some cases, talk pages. Next section. Mises Wiki is free content that any user can edit and any reader distribute. However, copyright laws must be obeyed, and plagiarism is not tolerated. Because all contributions are freely licensed, all of your contributions can and will be mercilessly edited and redistributed. As a result, no editor should think that he owns an article. Next pillar. Mises Wiki users should interact in a respectful and civil manner. Respect and be polite to your fellow editors, even when you disagree. Be courteous and avoid personal attacks. Assume good faith and strive for consensus. Don't be disruptive to a point, and don't participate in edit wars. Next and last pillar. Mises Wiki encourages bold editing. Be bold in updating articles and do not worry about making mistakes. Your efforts do not need to be perfect. Prior versions are saved, so no damage is irreparable. I feel like I should say that word as irreparable rather than irreparable. Irreparable. Anyway, this video is not irreparable in itself. I guess once I edit it and put it out there, it is irreparable, or irreparable, whatever that word is. But that's it for this video. That's it for the reading of Mises Wiki. I wanted to read the Austrian school one, but it's a rather long one, and I think that would be an interesting one to focus directly on itself, and I'll do a different graphic that's going to go with that, because I think some people might be interested with just the Austrian school itself. I'm somewhat aware of the Austrian school of economics, and I'll get into it in a separate video, just in a personal kind of presentation thing, talking about how I came to be, because I also need to go and research in my memory and things like that. I do know it wasn't the first thing I heard of Mises first. I didn't hear of Rothbard first. It might have something to do with Friedman, Thomas Sowell, and a bunch of other people that found my way to this source, but that's an interesting thing. If you are coming to this video to read this video, let me know how you heard about this video. Was it shared somewhere? Like how you heard about the Mises Institute? How you found out about this? Why were you searching for this if you found it online? How did you find out about the Austrian school? How long have you known about this? Did it take you some time to actually understand and be like, okay, I understand what's going on here? Or you're like, what are all these people talking about? What is this human choice kind of stuff? What are you talking about? Who is this Hans Hermann Hoppe with his chopper and things like that? Anyway, let me know what you guys think about that. I'll have that separate video, as I said, talking about this. I'm going to have a separate video in this forum talking about the Austrian school in and of itself, as to me that's something I'm also very interested in, and I haven't read through it before, so I want to actually get more research. I'm aware of this general thing that it was there, that was a founding part of this, but the content itself is so good that I'm not really too worried about the start. But now, let me get to know more about this start. Let me get to know more about this Austrian school. So that will be coming up soon. And as I also mentioned, there's going to be the smaller snippets that I'm talking about certain economic issues, certain economic terms and other things about classical liberalism and things like that, that I agree with, that I use often, and with words. I get that words change, but if you're having a discussion, at least within that discussion, words should mean what those words mean. So when I'm talking to somebody about capitalism, I want to be using the actual definition of capitalism that we can agree on. And what I found in the Mises Wiki is a definition that I agree with. When we talk about something like socialism, I want it to be something that we mean, not talking about how America is actually a failure of late stage capitalism.